This is the 3.5-inch capacity Hines model 300NC-E 3-axis NC hydraulic tube and pipe bender, serial number 122004-27, built in 2005. It's equipped with the Mitsubishi FX2N PLC control, touch face, a touchscreen interface, and ready to go.
All right, let's take a look around anyhow. It's obviously powered up, but hydraulics aren't running. Main screen right here. Start stop on the pump. A couple other buttons for auto and stepping through. So you have main screen pendant. Of course the machine itself. Coming over this way, we're closed up right now. There's a manual sitting in there. You come up the side here, it's, as you can see, it's everything's set up, ready to go here. Again, manual's in there, collet's open as you walk down the line here. You can see the collet closer up high there. And distance of bend, of course, are along these linear guides right here. If you want to go in, or, excuse me. Yeah, this will move wherever you need it to move here manually. This goes pretty easy. And there's a series, you use stop blocks and settings, but you do have a feedback off the control and an encoder for distance of bend right here. So that's this guy here. So that works nicely. So you know exactly where you're at on distance. And there's a block that goes in here, and you're able to pick this up and step it and set it and lock it in right here if you so desire. And of course there's your collet closer up here. The tracking, and as you long as around the side, here's the main mandrel. It's all in nice shape too. Cylinder's in nice shape. Come around the back side, you can see the oiler from here or after we go around, but that's the mandrel oiler right down there. There you go. And walk it back on up, and we'll float over to the other side and get back up front and play around with it. So yeah, you're looking at the main hydraulic system, of course, the power pack. Down through here, all the solenoid valves. You got a dual action pump over here, pump 1, pump 2. Pump 1 being high pressure, pump 2 being lower pressure. So what we're doing today, we're just going to stay on pump 2 because we have no material in there. Again, here's the whole collet setup. By the way, the B-axis here does work. I've got that cycled into the program. We'll see that thing go 30 degrees on step 2, which is this servo motor right here. So that all works. You got collet. And of course, plane of bend, POB I think it's called. Down here, again, linear guides, manual adjustment for center line on the mandrel, which corresponds to this manual hand wheel here, which is manual movement for the mandrel. So you line up both of these guys depending on where your center line is on the dies. So that's all of that. This all works pretty good, so I'm not going to play around with it. Down here's the panel, main electric panel running 440 volts. Dual voltage, 440, 220. The PLC, Mitsubishi PLC, up and running, currently on. Books up on top here, it's schematics, operators manuals, and all kinds of good stuff. You get all kinds of good stuff in here. This is a good book, it really is. So it covers everything. Hydraulic setup, electrical, operators, the screenshots, everything. It's all in there. Alright, getting back up to it, you got the step pedal down on the floor here, which I will use. Once I set it up on the main panel here, I'm just going to use the foot pedal down here. I'm currently in the manual setup here. You got menu, I just kind of go through a few of them. Set program, we've only got one, which is all1. This thing has hundreds of programs, but there's none in here. It has room for hundreds of programs, I should say. And if I open my number 1, and that's what I've got in there, just 2 steps. 190 degree, 145 degree, 130 degree on my second bend with the POB, and distance of bend 1 inch, just to see that it's clocking and that it moves. So I'm done with this. I'm going to leave it alone, just save it as is. Yes, save, 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 we're good. Get out of that and go into die setup. Run mode is my automatic mode. Diagnosis is pretty good. You see all the I/O on here. This is really helpful for outputs and inputs and system. It's all on there. I know I'm just flying through here, but all your I/O is right in this menu here. And then there's die setup, which is kind of where you really want to be here. It tells you where all the slides are at, what switches are made and which ones aren't. We are at bend number 1, and we're at 90 degrees POB. It's all back. When we start off and I hit at 0, everything starts at 0 and it goes from there. So your system pressure, I can call for pump 1 or pump 2. Again, we're going to stay on the low pressure side. Then I go to run, and after I hit run, I get past these guys here, go to the next one, which is just part of the setup, and then I home it. Once I home it and everything's in the right position, I'll just go to auto. So getting back to it, setting in die setup, which is manual, we'll do some things in jog mode first. As soon as I turn the pump on, we'll go through all these: clamp, pressure die, booster, degree of bend, which is the arm, of course, POB. POB I can't do manually. That has to be programmed in, so we can only watch that during the program. Mandrel, of course, in and out all day. Collet, open, close. And lube I'm not going to put on right now because I don't have it attached through the mandrel setup, but it's all back there. You've seen it on the camera shots. So that said, just looking at this, I'm going to hit start pump. And again, my first one, open, close, clamp. If you want to look over the other side, I'm just over here. Next one is pressure die. If you want to see me, close. And you can just kind of swing over again. And then degree of bend is right down by you, so kind of watch yourself. This arm comes out pretty far. It's only going to go 90 in manual because that's where my first bend is set up for, so it stops at 90. I'm going to bring it back in now. And mandrel, which is right up in here, you'll see this guy move forward, back. You might want to get a look at, there we go. I can pretty much leave this stuff wherever I want because when I hit home, everything goes where it's supposed to go before the first bend. Oh, and there's collet. If you kind of look all the way down the line there on top of the head, you'll see it. I'm opening and closing the collet. Movements for the most part, and with that said, we'll go into my 2-bend cycle here and let it rip. So I'm going to go into my run mode here, and like I said, we don't have to worry about the mandrel adjustments. I'm just going to move on and hit home. Everything's going to set up where it should go here for me, and then I'll get the ready light. When I get the ready light, I can just cycle off the foot pedal here. So I'm going to hit home now. And I got the ready light, so it's happy. I can hit start cycle now, and it'll go. That's what you want to see, and lets you know all the switches are right and all the slides are in the right place. So I'm just going to move this back, pull this forward, and let her go. Oh, first I'm going to hit it once and the collet will close. Then I have to hit it a second time to start the cycle. The first hit is entering with the tube. So if I just put the part in there, I'll hit it now, and the collet's going to close. There we go. Now we're ready to bend. I'm going to hit it again. And now one more time to bring the arm back. We haven't started step 2 yet. I'm going to bring the arm back. Mandrel comes forward, kind of close in on this, it's kind of good to watch. Now I'll move up forward. I'm going to start bend number 2 right here on the screen, and you kind of watch. It's going to do my 30 degrees on POB first before I can hit the next step and move on. So I'm gonna hit it now. There it goes. I've got it moving real slow, but just to show that it works, and it's clocking over here all the way up to 30 degrees. And we're there. Now that we've done that, we can hit it again and start the next bend. Which is not a 90, this one's a 45. End of bend 2, bring the arm back, and collet will open after this, and take my part out. Mandrel forward. And now I'm just going to walk through the whole thing, and if you kind of watch, yeah, you can walk around and pan around. I'm just going to do the whole cycle without talking. Same thing all over again. Here we go. Collet close, and we go. Slow. That's it on that. Yeah, you hear those solenoid valves making a little bit of noise. It's because we're running on a 150-foot extension cord, so we got a little bit of a voltage drop going on here. But it runs nice. It runs well. That's just a two-step program, and you can put a lot more into this thing, obviously, but just enough to show people how it runs. Pretty good running machine. So to stop the pump, we'll leave that right there. Get out of auto, but go back into jog. Leave it on jog. Kill the pump. That all runs really nice.